In this video, I'm going to show you how a challenger player abuses their level 1 strength to generate a multi-level lead. We're going to be covering 4 main topics. When can you zone from XP? Why does it work? Why is it worth? And how to do it. At the end, I'll be showing you a lot of examples on how you should do it and how not to do it against both melee and ranged champions. Okay, number 1. When can you zone from XP? It should be obvious if your champion is stronger than your opponents, and if they all-in you by trying to go for their minions and you just fight them, that's where you can do it. However, it's not always obvious, because sometimes if they stand in their creep wave and let's say they have ignite, then you might lose the all-in because the added damage from the creeps and the summoner spell will make the difference. So what we're going to do is we're going to think in our head first, like, okay, do we win despite them standing in their way? And secondly, we're going to then plan ahead of time and think, okay, which runes am I going to take to make sure that I can do it? Which summoner spells am I going to take? Which items am I going to take? And which ability am I going to level first, right? And these things, a combination of all of them, will give you the power to zone your opponent from XP level 1. Why does it work? The reason it works is because you put your opponents in a checkmate position where they choose whether they will either lose XP or take damage, right? The reason it's so important to not stand in your wave and then just walk at them is because you're not gaining any distance. If you're standing in your wave and they're standing here, if you're walking straight at them, they will walk straight away. Do you gain any distance that way? Maybe if you use Ghost, but you're not gonna get much out of that, right? So we're standing on the side of the wave, and because we stand on the side of the wave, we are creating like this angle where we're now walking around the minions, which also dodges mean aggro. And then if they keep standing here, what we're doing, if they're trying to escape, they have to go like this, and then we're cutting them off, right? But if they're going like this, then they will hit a wall, and then we're still cutting them off. So by creating this angle, you're forcing them to either walk towards the creeps, which you will then use to get an extended trade, or they will walk towards their tower. And when that happens, they are screwed, because when that happens, they can no longer get XP, and then we just zone them from all the XP, right? And why is it so good to get an extended trade? And why is it so good to get an extended trade? Is because even if you don't kill your opponent, now because they're so low, it's easier to set up a freeze, or to go for a proxy, or to go for a dive. And that's the main thing we're looking to do. And the lower they are, the easier it is to continue zoning from XP, which you can see here in this clip, for example. The wave settles, and I'm going to walk around again and keep doing it, right? And you can just snowball this into like a 2, 3, 4 level lead. Why is this worth it? You know, because when you're zoning from XP, you're losing a lot of gold, but you're not losing the XP from the creeps, just the gold. And you might be thinking, is that even worth losing? Like, oh, I'm playing as a tank. Do they care if they're losing XP? Maybe as long as I'm the one losing gold, they're fine with it. The answer is no, they're not fine with it, because a level is worth around 400 gold. You get a lot of stats. You get HP, mana, attack speed, attack damage, armor, magic resist. All these stats, they all count up to around 400 gold worth of stats. And you also are not factoring in the fact that you get an ability extra on your opponent, especially in the early levels. And also, every level is worth more than the previous one in terms of gold value, right? So you can use this early power to snowball to come to a point where they can never fight you because you're just 2 levels ahead, and then you can start playing for gold, right? That's when you can, okay, now I'm going to perma freeze, or I'm going to proxy and take enemy jungle camps and ruin the enemy jungler with my lead, because the enemy top laner can never take grub fights, they're too weak. They can never take herald fights, they're too weak. They can never contest my invades because they're too weak. And this is kind of the whole essence of it, right? So yeah, that's why it's worth it. All right, let's get into the examples and how you can do it in full detail. The first thing, if you look at the screen, that's really important to notice is when you're red side, it's easier to do. And the reason is the creeps, they actually meet a little bit closer to your side if you split the lane right down the middle. It's a little bit closer to the red side. Now, why is this important? Well, what we're looking to do when we're zoning from XP is we're looking to walk around the wave. And you can see that the wall that's closest to you on red side is a lot closer to the range creeps than it is to the other side, right? Look at the distance between the walls. It's a lot bigger if you're red side for the range creeps, right? Now, the reason this is important is because if you understand what Cassante wants to do to not get zoned from XP, you can play around it. And what I mean with this is Cassante wants to take a couple auto attacks so that these creeps attack me. And since these creeps are attacking me, they will now no longer attack my wave, and therefore my wave is damaging the enemy wave a lot more, and therefore it will push towards him. That is what he wants. So because I know this, it's easy for me to play around it, and you will see what I do. I auto him and I walk down, and what that does is it resets the aggro. I'm walking outside of the aggro range, right? So now he's screwed, because I can just keep autoing him here, and you will see that he's walking towards his creeps, but the creeps are bugged, guys. If you take aggro once, the second time you take aggro, they will instantly switch back. So after you take aggro once and drop it, you can now go back and just full fight him, and these creeps will never aggro onto you. It's a pretty weird bug, but yeah, you need to know this, right? These are the details that are really important. So here you see, am I mind controlling him, right? Am I playing for him? Why is he walking into his wave? As I said, he wants me to attack him so that the wave is pushing back into him, but that's not gonna happen. I already played around it. And this is why on the red side, we walk around the wave like this, okay? You walk through river, you don't walk above, because the distance between this wall and here is a lot further than this creep and this bush, okay? It's a lot better. If you're blue side, however, which is the side Cassant is playing, you will walk around like this, okay? You're walking around the bushes because this wall here is way too close to the creeps, and it's really hard to drop the aggro. You have nowhere to walk. So this is how we do it on red side, okay? We walk around like this, we attack him, we drop the aggro, and now we're going to get an all-in trade, right? We're going to just auto W, auto, boom, right? And we get a really good trade, and he lost XP. Now, this is another important detail. The next wave is coming. How can I make these waves meet in the middle for as long as possible? Because if it's pushing towards him, he won't lose as much. I want to play safe now, okay? My goal here is to not take me in aggro at all. So what do? I let the wave settle. Just like level 1, we wait until the wave chose their targets. We're walking around the wave, right? A lot of people would walk through the wave. You walk around it for 2 reasons. 1, you gain distance because you're creating an angle. And 2, you're dodging me in aggro. So here I'm dodging me in aggro. And now pay attention to the camera position, okay? You want to position your camera in the middle between the wave and the fight. Why? Because you can use your peripheral vision to now look at which creeps are dying, right? You can count which creeps he's missing. He might walk up when these creeps are dying from our side, and you can see when you need to walk back to make sure you don't miss any XP. And also you can keep track of, let's say this minion dies, these creeps will look for their new target. If I'm too close to this wave when they're looking for their new target, they might aggro onto me. And again, that's not what we want, right? So our camera is positioned in the middle, and we can use our peripheral vision to see what's happening. So you see there, for example, very subtly, I see that minion right there. This minion is about to die. I'm outside of XP range. It's about this, right? So now I'm going to, guess what? Walk into it. Boom. You see, camera position, really important, guys. Here, again, he's losing XP, he's losing XP, he's losing XP. Now, the wave is still pushing towards him. It's 50-50 sometimes, but that's fine, because if the wave is pushing towards him, I don't mind, since, look, what I can do now, I can stack waves and dive in, right? So again, the wave settles, I wait, I don't take me in aggro, I walk around, the wave has chosen their targets, I walk around it, and now I look again, you know? And this is how it's going to be for the next couple seconds. So here, you know, so just last hitting, now he's quite low, I'm level 3 to level 1, he lost a lot of XP, and he also still needs to kill more creeps than I do. I get a really good trade here, which is lucky, because he shouldn't ever give me this trade. I get a good trade here, I also get to hit his wave a little bit at the same time. Now, I'm not going to hard shove this wave after this trade. Why? Because if I slow push this wave, I'm giving my Nico time to come, and also I'm giving my abilities time to come back up, right? So here I'm just last hitting. No need to rush anything, right? I'm just gonna last hit. Now my Q's back up, and now, I mean, look, this guy's level 3, level 1. I'm just gonna pop ghost, W him, and kill him. And now I'm level 4 to level 1, guys, and I can just get a free reset off, and the game is just GG. So if I were to make a step-by-step process, step 1 would be stand away from where the wave is going to come. That's step 1. And that's, you see that we're doing here, right? We're just standing away from where the wave is about to come so that we dodge mean aggro. Step 2, let the wave settle. What does that mean? That means we're going to let the wave, you know, meet, choose our targets, and then we're going to walk. Step 3 is to walk around the wave, right? And we're trying to dodge the mean aggro by any means. Step 4 is fight him while dodging the aggro, and then zone him from XP, and repeat. All right, so I tried to kind of make a visualization visualizer in a way to help you understand what the XP ranges are. Here you can see that the red minions, their XP range is about here. You know, if I go beyond this line, I'm going to lose the XP. And for him, he needs to be in this line here. If he goes beyond this line, he will lose XP, right? So I'm constantly looking to both be in XP range and kind of zone him from his own XP. And I can do that by just kind of knowing where the XP range is. Sometimes you'll lose XP doing this, but you just kind of have to review and see, okay, maybe I was standing a little bit too far. And of course, we're trying to kind of stand away from the creep aggro too, right? So there's this like kind of, you know, sweet spot between the aggro range and the XP range that we're kind of looking to be between, right? So if I draw, you know, this black mess here, this entire black box here is what we're looking to do. We're looking to stand here between, you know, the caster aggro range and our own XP range. And that's kind of the idea. In this game, I'm playing Darius against aatrox, right? An infamous matchup. And the game plan is always going to be the same. We're walking around the wave. You know, this time, this guy is pretty smart. He actually goes into alcove. What I could be doing here is I could literally just be looking to, you know, zone him from getting back to his wave ever. I could just be standing here, but I choose not to. I choose to just play the lane, and what I realized here is like, look, I got lucky with the wave. Who gets the push is completely RNG based as long as both players don't A, hit the wave, and B, take aggro, okay? So I did hit the wave there, but it was on a pretty late frame. I never got aggro, and you can see that the wave is actually slow pushing towards me, which is really lucky. So I'm doing a short trade right, and then here my formula again, we stand next to the wave, we let the wave, you know, settle, we don't take aggro, and then we're walking around, right? And here we're just doing a trade, and we're dodging the minion aggro, while our camera position makes sure that we know, you know, what's happening. And now we just chill, we level up, he doesn't see it, and the wave is pushing towards us this time, so our game plan is like slightly different, but not too much. We're doing an extended trade here with Ghost. I mean, it doesn't matter that I lose my Ghost as long as this wave is good for us, then we're happy. And again, we're standing in the river. We're waiting for the wave to settle, you know. I'm waiting for that creep to die, and then we're walking around. And again, we're just zoning from XP, right? We might take a couple trades, but it doesn't really matter too much. We will hit level 3 soon. So here we're going to be playing, you know, we're pinging our jungler. I'm going to speed up a little bit. I'm thinning the wave a little bit. And then this time I'm walking above, because the problem here is if my jungler wants to come, if I position myself here, he's going to automatically position himself on the top of the lane, which is bad because my jungler can then not gank. But if I position myself on the top of the lane, he will subconsciously avoid me, and he will be, you know, posturing on the bottom side of the lane, and then my jungler can easily just come in and gank, right? So that's another thing you can think about there. So here I'm going to level up. So I hit a creep and I level up in the bush, so he doesn't even see that I leveled up. He doesn't see it, and now I'm going to surprise him by, you know, walking up with my level 3 timer. He didn't expect it, and now I just get a free kill. And a pretty important detail that you might notice here is that I don't instantly kill him. And the reason I don't kill him instantly is because he has TP and I don't, right? And my wave is kind of it's kind of in a bad spot, because like now, let's say I kill him instantly here and I try to hard shove this wave, it will be an awkward crash. However, if I delay his death by a couple seconds, I then have more time to shove the next wave out. He dies here, and now look, I can shove this wave out despite him TPing back, right? So I kill the wave. You know, I'm queuing the wave, I'm shoving. Imagine if he died instantly. He would be back in time right now to thin my wave and just hold it. But because I delayed his death a little bit, he can't do that, and it just crashes cleanly, right? And this is kind of how you can do that. Okay, so now I come back to lane, and the game plan is simple, right? The wave is pushing towards us. This guy has no summoner spells. We have boots, refillable, and cloth armor. Really good purchase. And guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna stand away from the wave, right? Step 1, stand away from the wave. Step 2, let the wave settle. Step 3, walk up and zone it from XP. And that's what we're gonna do. And it's literally just that easy, guys. Like, I'm just standing here, avoiding the mean aggro. Like, why would he trade onto me when obviously he's weaker right now? I have, you know, better items. I'm a better champion early. Why would he trade onto me? Well, the only reason he's trading is so that, you know, my minions are going to be, his minions are going to be attacking me, but I'm standing away from the range, right? So he just lost a full wave of XP, just like that. And now, you know, I need to maintain my freeze, so I'm going to use this timer where I can't fight him anyway, because this wave is coming and I don't want to take the aggro, to thin the wave out. So here you can see what I'm doing. I'm thinning the wave, you know, investing my Q and stuff, and then he doesn't have enough strength to thin my wave enough to crash it. So guess what's going gonna happen? We're gonna walk around the wave again, and we're just gonna straight up kill him. You know, and it's just really that simple, guys. We just kill him, and then we go back to our wave. We catch it. So we catch the wave here, we push the next one, and we get another free reset. Now we have tabis, and I mean, the game continues, of course, and yeah, we're just that much stronger. And we can just keep doing this the entire game if we want to. So you might be asking yourself, can you do this against ranged champions? The answer is, as long as you follow the principles, which the number one is you're stronger level 1, absolutely you can, right? Absolutely. Against ranged champions, you can do it too. Now, in this game, I'm playing Olaf against Cassio. The problem that I have is that I'm a stronger champion. However, I'm melee and she's ranged. So how can I make up for that ranged debt, right? First of all, you can see that she queued my wave, therefore it pushes towards me, right? And I'm not taking aggro. If she hits my wave even a little bit, it will push towards me. That's just how League of Legends works. Now the wave is in a really good spot for me, and you can see that I'm sacrificing a lot of creeps. If I use my Q to farm, she's gonna walk up and trade me, right? I don't want that. So I'm just standing here, you know, and the moment she crosses the line here a little bit too much, I'm instantly behind her because I'm walking in a curve, right? If I'm walking straight at her, she's able to go like this. If she's a little bit too much here, I'm just gonna go like that, and I have the distance, right? And that's what we care about. So we're just soaking XP. At some point she walks a little bit too far, and then I just get an extended trade. Boom, instantly. Now I'm going to be waiting for the wave to settle, right? Okay, we drop the mean aggro if possible. Now we have a slow push towards her, which means that we need to, you know, make sure the wave crashes cleanly. So that's what we do. We're just gonna boom, 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 you know, shove the wave in. Here, I wanted to base because I have enough gold for boots. And if I have boots, I can just come back, you know, this wave will inevitably freeze. However, she holds the wave. Is that a problem? Not really. Why? Because if she's holding the wave, I can still make it, you know, slow push towards me. The only issue is a lot of players here would try to, you know, poke her by queuing the entire wave just to queue her. The problem with that is that it will never slow push towards me if I damage her wave too much, because the wave will never, you know, win against my wave. So what we're doing here is we're just gonna be patient, right? The queue there was deliberately between the creeps. I only had one melee creep right there. Now we're just being patient, you know, we're just waiting, we're waiting. Okay, mean wave is coming, we're just being patient. Now, guess what we do? We walk around the wave and we walk through the bushes. Why? Because through the bushes, it's a lot easier to spot her if she's like, let's say, recalling. Also, my jungler stops side, right? So again, I want her to posture on this side of the lane this time. We're going through the bushes here, and now she's losing XP, right? And let's see. She will lose the XP if she doesn't get too close. So now she gets way too close, right? She's in XP range, and guess what? Either she walks into river, which I'll run her down with Ghost, or she has to walk through me because I gained distance, right? This wall here is in the way. She can't walk through the wall. So I'm going to guarantee myself to get a very good trade here. I even force her flash. Boom, we take that, right? We don't get too greedy. We have to get back to our wave, otherwise it crashes. We don't want that. We want to keep the freeze. Now I realize here that I can't base. If I base right now, I will lose too much. She will just TP back and shove the wave, so that's not good. So here I'm just gonna stay, and I'm just gonna, you know, farm, crash 2 waves. She's gonna hold the wave again, being annoying. And again, the wave is slow pushing towards us right now. Yes, we're just gonna wait. We're just gonna be patient. The wave is slow pushing towards us, and here, final game plan, right? She's going to lose that XP. She has to be in a range. Now I know I have flash advantage, so I'm literally just gonna flash on top of her and murder her. And this is how you just abuse the hell out of range champs, guys. Just using this XP zoning tactic. You're just creating this checkmate position 24/7, guys. It is really just that OP. So hopefully now, if you apply everything you learned, you will be able to zone your opponents from XP effectively, given you have a good matchup for it. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave me a comment to, you know, let me know if this worked for you, or if you learned anything, or if you would like to see similar content. And thank you, I guess. I'm blanking. Leave a like, subscribe, and peace out.